everyone, welcome to another video from eGIS Associates. We're once again continuing our computer build series. This time we're going to unbox and look at our power supply. We've got the EVGA 850 GQ. So this is a 850 watt gold 80 plus certified power supply. And this should produce more than enough power for our system. As you're putting together a system, it is important to make sure that you adequately meet all the power requirements. And this is especially true if you start working with overclocking, you start adding in liquid cooling and things like that. All of those increase the power requirements. So you're probably figuring, well, how do you know what size power supply do you need? Well, the way I did it, I actually went to a website called PC Part Picker, and I'll make sure to include a link to that in the description. And I started plugging in my components that I was putting into the system. And as you start adding those, it will give you an estimate of the amount of power that you need for that system. So mine actually said about 400 watts should have been enough. I went above that because I figured 400 is good, 850 would be better, right? Yeah, just like horsepower in a car, right? Can't have too much of that. So that's what we did. So let's open the box, see what we got in here. And this should be fun. Box open. Box down. Okay, so start off with a nice manual telling you about the output of the system. I'm sorry about the power supply. Of course, how to connect the cables and things of that nature. So that's good. We'll pull the foam off here. And so here, if I can get this out, is our power supply unit. And then also with this, we've got a bunch of different cables to plug in for our various power needs. Now this particular power supply is what they call semi-modular. And by that, here's the screws to screw it in. What that means is that they've gone ahead and hardwired the primary power that goes to the motherboard. So our 24 pin plus 4 connector here, this is, that's a requirement. We know that's got to be there. So they've gone ahead and included that on here. And then what they've done, if I can get the plastic off this. Of course, I didn't expect it to be so hard that, there we go. Harder than I thought it was going to be. There's a joke in there somewhere, but I'm not going to go there. But then on the back, you can see here that you can pick the cables that are provided here, what you need, to match the peripherals and other things that components you put into your computer. So based on the number of SATA connections you need, your CPU connections, your video card connections. So it really makes it easy. So you don't have a bunch of extra cables in the computer that you don't need. And that was with older power supplies, again, showing my age, going back to the 90s and 2000s, which sadly was really the last time I truly built a full system from scratch. Most power supplies we got had all of the cables dangling in, a bunch of cable spaghetti coming off the back, and really made for challenging times trying to get everything cleaned up and looking neat. But with this, I can pick and choose. And we have several VGA cables in here to connect things up. So that's all this. Our SATA power connections are here. We have other, looks like more. We got Molex connections on here, our CPU power connection. So really from the old Molex, so this goes back to back when I was building back in the 90s and 2000s. So these connectors whatnot. So pretty much anything that you have, as far as power needs in a computer, this has all the cables you're going to need. They seem to be of pretty high quality. They're nice and black, which fits with our case design. If you're really worried about that kind of thing, I'm not. As long as it works, that's more important to me than what it looks like. But I know some people are very serious, that's the word I'm looking for, about the looks of their computer, not just the function in there. So nice black cables that are go well. The primary power connector here is a nice cloth sleeve to help protect it from any rubbing or cutting, so that'll be nice. So we've got plenty of cables in here, so we should have no problems getting all of our peripherals up and running with this. So very excited about that. I'm very excited about building the whole system, to be honest with you. So this will be the first system I built from scratch in many years. So it's kind of exciting to get back in and do this. So there's our cooling fan there on the bottom. Now the other nice thing about this power supply is it does have an eco mode. So you can turn that on and it will reduce the amount the fan is used. It makes it quieter, draw less power, so just makes it more economical to run, which is a nice thing to do. So we'll leave that on, to keep our power bill down when we run this thing. So there we go. There's the power supply. Like I said, it's a EVGA 850GQ. I said that's an 80+ gold certified power supply. And what I'll do, since I think it was JZ 2 cents, he actually did a whole explanation of what the 80+ certified meant. And as I understand it, it has to do with the efficiency of the unit to deliver peak power. And then they have additional levels on how much more efficient it gets, from bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and I think titanium they're up to now. So anyway, I'll put a link to that video. I think it was from JZ 2 cents, so that you get an idea of what all that means and why it's important. No point in me reinventing the wheel since that video is already out there. So as you're going to build a system, this is the heart of it. I mean, this is what's providing power. So you'd want to make sure if you're building one from scratch that you don't skimp out on your power supply. Get one that is sufficient in the amount of power you need, and as well as one that's high enough quality. Make sure it is 80+ certified. Now, whether it's just 80+ certified or bronze or silver, gold, whatever, it is not as important, but do make sure it's 80+ certified. That way it's built with some good quality components, and it has been reviewed, certified by a body, met some sort of standard in that regard. And this is true if you're trying to build a system, or buy a system from a system integrator such as Dell or HP or was it CyberPower or Origin or any of these others. Make sure that they're using good quality power supplies as well, because if something happens to this piece, it can go through and ruin your whole day. It can fry your motherboard, it can fry your processor, your RAM, your hard drive. It can really mess things up if it doesn't perform right, if it goes out on you. So again, don't cheap out on your power supply, because a lot of folks will do that thinking, well, it's not as important as the processor, it's not as important as the RAM, the motherboard, but that's just not true. It really is the heart of your system, and if you don't have a good one of these, then your system will end up crashing and you'll pay a lot more for it in the long run. So anyway, this should be it for our unboxing videos. Hopefully our next video will be actually building the system, which I'm very excited to get into. Again, if you like what we have done with our channel and like some of the videos we've put up, we do have plans to do a whole lot more. We're talking to some GPS vendors about maybe getting some GPS equipment to review and compare, make sure they're getting the accuracies they're stated, how does the software work, and those kind of things. But to do all that, we're going to need some help from y'all. So please become a patron of our channel. The link will be provided in the description, and help us, get more of this stuff so we can make some more videos for you that really help you get a better understanding of the equipment that's out there, hardware, software, all of that. I'd love to, we may do this as a future video, do a comparison between, say, ArcGIS and QGIS, if anybody would be interested in seeing that too. So anyway, we got a lot of plans for future videos. So with that, we look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks.